There is a two-bedroom bungalow on the Atlantic coast selling for $145,000. Ocean views included. This is not 1985. This is Canada in 2026, and these coastal towns exist while everyone fights over overpriced condos in Toronto and Vancouver. Most Canadians assume coastal living means million-dollar mortgages in Victoria or unaffordable cottages in Nova Scotia. But scattered along Canada's Atlantic provinces are working coastal towns where the sea meets your doorstep and house prices remain shockingly affordable. We analyzed MLS data, healthcare reports, and what actual residents say in forums when realtors are not listening. We found 7 coastal towns where homes sell under $200,000, hospitals exist within reasonable distance, and communities function as real places. We are counting down 7 Canadian coastal towns with houses under $200,000 that nobody talks about. One town averages below $130,000. Another offers ferry access to Newfoundland. The town at number 1 combines affordability with amenities rivaling places costing 3 times as much. Number 7. Port aux Basques, Newfoundland. Stand on the waterfront as the ferry from North Sydney glides into port. The wreckhouse winds sweep across the strait. This is Canada's gateway to Newfoundland. Port aux Basques sits at Newfoundland's southwestern tip with 4,000 residents. The Marine Atlantic Ferry operates year-round service connecting Newfoundland to mainland Canada. Average house price: $145,000. A 3-bedroom bungalow with ocean views sold recently for $138,000. Waterfront properties exist below $160,000. The Dr. Charles L. Legros Health Center provides emergency and primary care locally. Corner Brook is 145 kilometers north with Western Memorial Regional Hospital, roughly 90 minutes on the Trans-Canada Highway. A retired teacher from Ontario wrote that Port aux Basques gave her ocean views, functioning community, and prices letting her retire mortgage-free. The wind is real, but so is the welcome. The honest consideration: weather. Wreckhouse winds close the highway regularly in winter. Ferry schedules depend on conditions. Snow arrives early and stays late. Would you choose genuine affordability and ocean access even if the wind reminds you daily you live at the Atlantic's edge? Number 6. Glace Bay, Nova Scotia. Glace Bay has miners' rowhouses under $100,000 and coastline so dramatic it stops conversations. This is Cape Breton coal country. Glace Bay sits on the Atlantic just outside Sydney with 15,000 residents. The mines closed decades ago but communities remain. Average house price: $135,000. Row houses sell for $80,000 to $110,000. A renovated 3-bedroom near the waterfront listed recently for $128,000. Glace Bay Healthcare Facility provides primary and emergency care. Cape Breton Regional Hospital in Sydney is 15 kilometers away, 20 minutes by car. The Marconi National Historic Site sits here where the first transatlantic wireless message was received in 1902. Walking coastal trails, you pass cliffs where mine shafts once descended beneath the sea. A retired steelworker from Hamilton wrote that Glace Bay reminded him of Ontario before everything became expensive. Neighbors actually talk. Prices let working people own homes. The challenge: employment for those not yet retired. Tourism and service work replaced coal at lower wages. But for retirees with pensions or remote workers, the equation changes. Your mortgage payment is lower than most car payments. Would you choose history and affordability over trendy and expensive? Number 5. North Sydney, Nova Scotia. North Sydney has the ferry terminal everyone passes through and nobody considers staying near. That might be the town's greatest asset. 7,000 residents live across the harbour from Sydney. The Marine Atlantic Ferry to Newfoundland departs here. Thousands of vehicles pass through weekly. Yet North Sydney remains affordable and functional. Average house price, $175,000. A two-bedroom bungalow near the waterfront sold for $158,000. Family homes list between $160,000 and $190,000. Cape Breton Regional Hospital is 12 kilometers away in Sydney, 15 minutes by car. Medical clinics and pharmacy services exist locally. The waterfront trail runs along the harbour. On summer evenings, locals watch the ferry depart for Newfoundland. A retired nurse from New Brunswick wrote that North Sydney gave her Cape Breton access without isolation. She reaches Sydney for shopping in minutes. Her house cost less than a parking space in Halifax. The consideration: the ferry brings seasonal crowds. Summer weekends mean traffic. Would you choose a working ferry town over a precious seaside village charging triple? Number 4. Stephenville, Newfoundland. Stephenville has an airport that served American military jets and beaches that look Caribbean. The town sits on Newfoundland's west coast facing the Gulf with 7,000 residents. The former Harmon Air Force Base operated until 1966. The infrastructure including a massive runway now serves the community. Average house price, $155,000. A three-bedroom bungalow sold for $142,000. Waterfront properties exist below $180,000. Sir Thomas Roddick Hospital provides emergency and primary care. Corner Brook is 75 kilometers south, 50 minutes away, with Western Memorial Regional Hospital. Stephenville's beaches surprise visitors. White sand. Turquoise water in summer. Locals call it Newfoundland's best-kept secret. A remote worker from Alberta wrote that Stephenville offers small-town affordability with airport access. He flies direct to Toronto when needed. His mortgage payment is lower than old condo fees. The challenge: remoteness from main population centers. St. John's is 700 kilometers across the island. Would you accept West Coast remoteness for beaches this beautiful and prices this real? Number 3. New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. New Glasgow has a waterfront farmers market, functioning Main Street, and house prices making relocating from Ontario feel like cheating. 9,000 residents live on the East River in Pictou County. This is working waterfront where shipyards thrived and fishing boats operate. Average house price, $165,000. A Victorian home sold for $152,000. A modern three-bedroom bungalow listed for $178,000. Aberdeen Health Centre provides emergency services and primary care. Halifax is 90 minutes by highway. The farmers market operates year-round. Local vendors sell vegetables, meat, baked goods. Saturday mornings the market fills with residents who know each other. A retired couple from Toronto wrote that in New Glasgow they own a three-bedroom outright with money for travel and living. The challenge: New Glasgow is not trendy. The economy shifted when shipbuilding declined. Your housing costs are so low retirement feels like retirement instead of poverty with extra time. Number 2. Cape Tormentine, New Brunswick. Cape Tormentine has the Confederation Bridge stretching to Prince Edward Island and houses at prices that sound like typos. 300 residents live at New Brunswick's easternmost point. Before the bridge opened in 1997, ferries crossed from here to pay. Average house price, $125,000. A waterfront cottage sold for $108,000. A renovated three-bedroom with bridge views listed for $139,000. Healthcare requires planning. The nearest hospital is Sackville, 30 kilometers away. Moncton is 60 kilometers with full services. The Confederation Bridge is visible from most properties. The 13 kilometers span crosses the strait. Driving to Pay takes 10 minutes. A Montreal writer bought a waterfront cottage in 2024. Her mortgage payment is lower than her previous hydro bill. The challenge: isolation. Cape Tormentine is very small. For those seeking genuine escape, this works. Your cottage costs less than a down payment in any major city. Would you choose genuine remoteness and affordability? Number 1. Souris, Prince Edward Island. Souris has working fishing harbor, ferry to Magdalen Islands, beaches with squeaking sand, and prices making expensive coastal living seem like conspiracy. 1,200 residents live on PEI's eastern shore. The French name means mice, referencing an 18th century plague. The mice are gone. The beauty remained. Average house price: $140,000. A 3-bedroom 2 blocks from harbor sold for $126,000. Waterfront cottages appear between $130,000 and $160,000. Souris Hospital provides emergency and primary care. Charlottetown is 80 kilometers away, 1 hour's drive, with full services. The harbor fills with fishing boats. Lobster traps stack on wharves. This is actual working waterfront. The ferry departs weekly in summer for Magdalen Islands. Basin Head Beach sits east of town. The sand squeaks when you walk. Locals call it singing sands. The beach ranks among Canada's best repeatedly. Entry free. Parking free. A retired civil servant from Ottawa wrote that his 3-bedroom cost $132,000. Property taxes under $2,000 annually. His cost of living dropped so dramatically he saves more retired than working. The challenge: PEI's size and isolation. The island has 160,000 total residents. Winters mean ferry stops. Your mortgage is paid completely. You have money in the bank for the first time in decades. The singing sands are 5 minutes away. This is not vacation. This is your life now. Souris takes top spot, combining genuine coastal beauty, functioning infrastructure, healthcare access, and prices so affordable they make expensive markets look like voluntary poverty. Conclusion: 7 towns. Port aux Basques to Souris. Prices $125,000 to $175,000. Each with ocean access. Each with functioning communities. Each proving affordable coastal living in Canada has not disappeared. It moved to places most Canadians never think to look. These towns are real. Prices current as of early 2026. Communities welcome newcomers with realistic expectations and genuine interest. Subscribe, because next week we explore maritime villages where your money goes furthest. Comment which town surprised you most. The Atlantic coast is longer than most Canadians realize. The communities are real. The welcome is genuine. Somewhere on this list might be where your next chapter starts. The only question is whether you are ready to write it. Your move.